What's up? I organized my garage gym, and I'm going to use that as an opportunity to do a little gym tour, talk about some stuff that if you're looking to build your own home gym that you might want to invest in, maybe some things that you don't want to invest in that I've invested in so you can learn from me. There's not too many of those, to be honest. A lot of this stuff goes a long way, but we'll kind of get into it, and you can use this as sort of a buyer's guide. Cool, let's get into it. All right, first piece of equipment is this GMWD PowerTech knockoff. It's basically a cable machine that can do like, I don't know, 15 different exercises or something. I don't know what they say. You get lat pull down, you get upright row, bicep curls, lat pull down, low rows. You can do dips on it. You can do Bulgarian split squats on it. You can do like a pendulum squat kind of. Multiple different things you can do. Anything you could do with like a single arm or a single cable machine, you can probably do with this. Or at least anything that has the cable coming up from the ground or down from above you. There's no like center part that you can do. But as far as like the functionality of it, it's pretty decent for sure. You can get a lot out of it. It's a good use of space. It holds a lot of weights. So it has these weight horns or pegs. So we put some 45s on there, some 10s on the other side. There's more up here as well. It came with some handles, and then I bought some handles to go with it. We've gotten some mileage out of it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really use this thing that much. Been using it a little bit more lately just for like tricep push downs, because I like cable push downs, but that's pretty much the only cable exercise I like. If I'm doing a row, I like to do free weights, stuff like that. So as far as like essentialism for a home gym goes, I would put this pretty high. I'd say like 8 or 9, maybe like 7 or 8 out of 10. It's better than having each movement as an individual machine as far as saving space goes, which I'm going to talk about at the end of the video. You want to be really smart about how you use your space, how your space is dictated in your home gym, because typically, I think most of us probably have like a 2-car garage, and that space runs out, especially if you're using it for storage of like anything else in the house. But yeah, GMWD is pretty good. It's like $800. The PowerTech, I think, was like $1,400. So this was just, way cheaper for the same functionality, probably cheaper parts. No real complaints about it, besides like the plastic cover on the wire rubbing off in like the first week. But besides that, it's been pretty sturdy. So I will recommend it for sure. All right. Not really much to say about a power rack or a power cage. This is the Titan X3. So I think it's like one step below their like nicest rack or whatever. This thing's a beast, dude. Like, it handles everything we've thrown at it. These spotter arms are great. Monolift attachments in the back, so you don't have to worry about doing like a pullover on bench or walking a squat out. This is my favorite way to press, by the way. So I have these high up, so you can just kind of stand up, press, and then just lower it back down or just drop it without having to worry about trying to find the J-cups or missing the J-cups. What can you really say about a power rack? It's absolutely essential. 10 out of 10, you must have one if you're getting a home gym. And if you're thinking that your home gym is going to be like, I don't want to weight lift, I don't want to power lift, whatever, get that out of your head. Okay, this is not powerlifting, this is general physical preparedness, and this is the best tool at your disposal for building up size and strength that you're going to take out into the real world or your sport or whatever, right? There's no detriment to being bigger and stronger than you currently are. And then just as far as like functionality or logistics go, functionality of the logistics side, it's actually really good for storing other barbells. So you can see, I just put some bolts up there and you can rest some, whatever the barbells you have. So we have this safety squat bar from Titan, then we have the Titan axle bar, and we have just some random power bar, and then this is a Rogue Boneyard bar that we're still looking for the imperfection that Rogue deemed unsellable for full price, but like we have four bars on there. We could have a fifth down on those J cups. There's bar attachments that we could hang some more off of if we needed to. So yeah, I mean, power rack is a power rack. Like, you gotta have one. You can get a half rack too. There's some really sturdy ones. I went for the power cage because it's a little more stable. I didn't want to mess around with dropping weight and then having the whole rack fall over. I even got some extra feet for it to stabilize it because I didn't want to drill into the cement. And then last thing I'll talk about here are the clips. So these are not stock clips. These are from Kepi Fitness. And these are 100% a knockoff version of Eleiko's Oppen collars. So they basically took the exact same design, added another lever. As you can see, like these things, squeeze on the bar. It's magnetic. It's really nice. They were like 30 bucks. The Eleiko Oppen collars were like 120, so kind of a no-brainer. And then we also have this pair of Bella Steel clips that just clamp down. They're really nice. These actually fit on the axle bar, which these don't really. So it is nice to have a couple different clips that will fit different size collars. And I definitely recommend getting a non-stock pair of collars because the stock ones are garbage. They're just trash. They're not going to protect you at all. Yeah, I don't know, not really much to say about that. And then for barbells specifically, like as far as the essentialism goes, obviously, the standard Olympic one, 10 out of 10. Safety squat bar, really helpful if you have shoulder issues. Because you hold it in front of you instead of having to like shove your shoulders back. So that's kind of why we got it. I was having wrist and shoulder issues. So I was like, you know what? I'm just getting this because I'm tired of being in pain during squat and having to stop squatting early. So I would say like probably 5 out of 10 for essentialism. Pretty useful piece of equipment. Not fully necessary, but you can get some good variations out of it. Yeah, and then the axle bar is not essential at all unless you train strongman, I would say. You can have fun with it. It's good for rows. Deadlifting is really hard with it. It's completely stiff. There's no bend or whip at all. No knurling either. No notches. It's just a black pipe that you put weights on. So you can get a lot of, anabolic stimulus out of it. You can get grip strength, all that kind of stuff. But really, I only have it because I train strongman and I need to have it for axle clean and press and axle deadlift, which are extremely fun, but again, not necessary at all. So, yep. All right, these are the Titan farmer carry handles. Extremely solid, absolutely love these things. The knurling it feels like glue when you put your hand on it, like extremely good knurling. I've never been in danger of dropping these due to slippage. I have been in danger of dropping them due to pain because they're gnarly and sometimes they rip my calluses, but that's mostly my fault. As far as like pharmacare handles go, I think these are top notch. I've used a couple different ones before. These are my favorite. It's like top loading the plates, which is a little different than like, I think Rogue has a pair that are basically like the axle bar that I showed with a handle on top. So get a pair of pharmacare handles. It doesn't have to be these, but absolutely get a pair of pharmacare handles. Because they're gonna go a long way as far as improving your functional strength, like your grip strength, your conditioning, your ability to carry something for a long distance, like a suitcase or a backpack or groceries or whatever it is. So really good for like, the older population, really, really great for the younger population, for who can push their weights on it. But I would definitely, if I was training older people, I would definitely have them use these just to like increase bone density, increase grip strength, micro load the quads, the legs, get your body used to holding weight. Not much more to say about these, to be honest. They are, I would say, 8 out of 10 as far as essential goes. All right, next up is this yoke. This one will be kind of short, I think. Not essential at all. I would not get a yoke unless you are training for Strongman. There's some fun things you can do with it. It's a versatile piece of equipment. You can do yoke runs with it. You put it on your back, carry it. You can do a Zercher carry. You can overhead press it. You can load bags over it. But none of that, I would say, is really unique enough to a yoke to warrant buying one. I got this because I didn't have a way to do yoke carries unless I wanted to drive like 35 minutes to a gym in Pflugerville, which that gym is badass, by the way. Shout out to Home Barbell Club. But I just know I'm not going to do that. So I was like, let me look if there's one on sale on Titan. Sure enough, this was 50% off. Let's do it, right? Doesn't take up, I mean, it takes up like a lot of space if you just look at the like block. But you can like fit stuff under it. It's pretty easy to move. It's 166 pounds, so it's like a little heavy, but like if you train much at all, it's not that bad. But yeah, again, like not necessary. I wouldn't get one if like I said, if you weren't training Strongman. Now these are crash pads used for dropping weights on. I think if you're doing any sort of clean and pressing or any sort of like snatching, Olympic weights, dumbbell, like anything where you think you're gonna be dropping a weight from shoulder height and above, I would grab a pair of these for sure, because you want to protect your floor. Even if you have the horse stall mats, like I have the like I think it's like 1 1/4 inch thick rubber mats. When you're dropping like thinnish plates, like the metal plates, or like if you're rich as fuck and you have the calibrated plates, like dropping that on a rubber mat above concrete is still likely to crack your concrete over a long period of time. So these are a way to get around that. So yeah, like 10 out of 10 essential if you think you're gonna do any sort of cleaning and then you're gonna drop it from a height. That's a Husfeld stone replica. It's metal, 135 pounds, not essential at all. I don't even use it. I just think it's cool to have because the Husfeld stone is like a legendary Strongman thing. I have like moved it around the gym, but I haven't done an actual workout with it. But yeah, no, just a fun little like statement piece. All right, my baby, my pride and joys, the sandbags. So these little things are probably the best purchase or best investment I've made in this gym outside of a barbell, power rack, and weights. These things have done so much for me as far as increasing my posterior chain strength, getting rid of like lower back pain, increasing my grip strength, my crushing strength, my conditioning, my ability to just pick something up off the floor and throw it or move it or something. They're like $100-ish per bag, depending on where you get it from. Titan usually has pretty good prices. Cerberus actually was pretty decent as well, even though they're like kind of more top of the line, I would say, as far as quality goes. This is like a Wolf tactical bag we got off Amazon. I don't even know how much it was. But yeah, you can generally expect to pay somewhere between $100 to $120 per bag. And then the sand is like $6 for 50 pounds. So you can kind of add that in. So over here we have 175 pounds, 200 pounds, 150 pounds, 227 pounds, 250 pounds, and this big bitch is 300 pounds. That's my chase bag right now. I'm really close to shouldering it. I've loaded it over the yoke before at 48 inches, which I was proud of, but not quite to the shoulder yet. But these things are incredibly fun, incredibly useful, very versatile. It's essentially, you can do all the same stuff with a sandbag as you can with a barbell. So you can clean and press them, you can squat them, you can row them, you can carry them. You can do all these different things with them. You can do a unilateral carry. So you hammer your obliques, you do front box squats. So many different things you can do with them for a relatively low investment price. Like if you want to get a decent barbell, you're probably going to spend like a couple $100. For that price, you get like 2 sandbags basically. So, you know, they are like, if you get a bunch, they're pretty expensive. Like I said, this is like over $600 worth of sandbags. But you split them up. My buddy has bought a couple of these. Like I didn't buy all of these myself. So we usually split stuff in here, which is nice. So if you have a friend that might want to work out in your home gym, good idea to ask them to start, you know, investing a little bit as well. Good way to cut down on the cost. But yeah, I can't really say enough about sandbags. If you've seen any of my content before, you know I absolutely love these things. And I would, essentialism, 10 out of 10. You need at least one, I would say. And then that's all it'll take. The spark will catch and you'll be addicted from like your first workout with them for sure. So highly recommend. All right, next up, continuing the strongman path. This is a log. So I think I maybe talked about it earlier. This is definitely a strongman specific implement. It's used for clean and press. You technically are cleaning it. It's not quite like an Olympic lift. Like you're not gonna be swinging this from your hips to your shoulder. You're gonna be rolling it from your hips to your shoulder and then pressing from like, you know, 6 inches in front of you instead of, you know, right under your chin. This is the thing I was absolutely most excited for when we really started decking out this gym, was getting a log press. It's like the quintessential strongman exercise or movement. It's so fun. This is the Titan 12-inch one. It's 88 pounds, I think. It's rackable, so it has like a little extra bit of space here on the sleeve. So you can put it like in a rack and, you know, press out of it like that if you want to, if you don't want to have to like clean it up. Like, I don't even know what to say. I love this thing. I've gone up to 225 pounds with it. Never had any sort of feeling that something was going to break or bend. So maybe when I get stronger, it'll start to go. But essentialism, I mean, it's not essential. But if you like overhead pressing, if pressing stuff overhead or picking stuff from the ground and going overhead with it is something you like to do, then you will probably love log press. So no, not necessary at all, not essential to a weightlifting program, but incredibly fun. It's a different kind of stimulus. It's just a great time. So I highly recommend getting one if you have the space and you think that you might enjoy a little uniqueness. And then next to this is just a bench. It's some cap bench I got off Facebook Marketplace. It's decent. It's a little wonky. Like the feet are like angled weird from the bench part. But it's like a solid bench. I do want to find one that doesn't have this, like I want to find like a straight, like a solid one-piece bench. And then I wrapped a band around it so I could get a little more like grip because it's pretty slick. And then it's just being held up on the wall by a Titan bench rack. So that's another thing. I think I might talk about it later. I recorded these out of order. You generally want to keep as much stuff off the ground in a home gym as you can. One, because like cleaning is a total pain in the ass if there's just a bunch of stuff on the ground. And then 2, going back to that clever use of space, stuff on the ground just takes up space, which is instantly going to degrade your gym a little bit. So as much stuff off the ground as possible, barbells, benches, any kind of stuff like that. Bands, you don't want just lying around. It's a tight knit space and you don't want a bunch of clutter. But yeah, bench, like gotta have a bench. So 10 out of 10. And then I'll just talk really briefly on these things. So those two balls on the bottom left are, one's like a 20-pound basketball, basically. You just use it to like bounce it as hard as you possibly can. Pretty good for lighting up the triceps, actually, if you do like chest passes down at the floor, like hinged over. I don't really use it that much. I kind of just took it because they were gonna throw it away. And then same thing with the other one. It's like a 70-pound slam ball that leaks sand everywhere. So I don't really use it, but I was like, well, I'm not gonna take a 70-pound piece of equipment, you know? They're okay. Not essential at all. Fun to have. Probably gonna give them away. This thing is a deadlift jack. If you weightlift, like if you powerlift at all or go to a actual gym that lifts weight, you probably have seen the ones that are like a big piece of metal that you jack up under the bar and lift up. This is that, but probably way cheaper because I've never looked up that one. This was like 30 bucks. And it's just a little more compact. So clever use of space. I only need to jack up one set at a time. And it saved me money. So 10 out of 10 if you deadlift. Saves your back too. All right, and then over here is just sort of random assortment of stuff and things. Starts to get into like our house storage. So these are just some change plates. Got a foam roller that again, Jim was throwing away, so I took it. Some jump ropes, little rolling thunder action here for some grip work. These are Bowflex adjustable dumbbells. They go up to 52.5 pounds. They're okay. Honestly, they're a little wide. Like if you ever have grabbed a 50-pound dumbbell, it's probably like 3 inches shorter than these are. But, you know, that's so many pairs of dumbbells in one that I'm not really gonna complain too much. The only thing I don't like about these really, besides this general size, is all of this is like plastic. So the whole thing is essentially plastic. It doesn't feel great. You definitely can't drop them. It was like 300 bucks for the pair when I first bought them a couple years ago, like 4 years ago now. Not like 3, it was like 2.5 years. They were like 300 bucks. Definitely a good investment to get some adjustable dumbbells. I just wouldn't get these. They did make a pair that goes up to 90 pounds and it's all metal. And I think it even has like a knurled grip instead of just like this plastic rubber thing. So I might try to sell these and get those. But I definitely like, if you can't afford a full suite of dumbbells, which most people can't because they're like minimum $3,000, unless you really want to go like piecemeal them together off some sites and Facebook Marketplace, which I fully encourage you to do. I'm trying to right now, but every time I find a good price, it's like already been sold. Definitely grab some dumbbells. I'm currently in the market for like basically 60 to 100 pounds. Those are the ones that I most regularly use at the gym I work at. And then after that, you know, going with the ego lifting ones, 110, 120, 130, just all the good fun ones. But yeah, you probably want some dumbbells and some kettlebells. I think kettlebells are a bit cheaper and easier to find. But yeah, dumbbells, essentialism, probably like 8 out of 10. All right, so that was my gym. Hopefully you got some good stuff out of it. If you're looking to build a home gym, my biggest piece of advice is use your space wisely. Don't try to fill it with a bunch of like isolation machines or anything like that. Unless you have like a really big garage, like a 3 or 4 car garage, you could probably get away with that for sure. But for me, people like me who only have like barely a 2-car garage, you have to be really wise with your space. So the basics come first: power rack, half rack, 1 to 2 barbells, get a set of plates, get more than you think you'll need, because you're gonna grow into them like pretty quick if you are just starting out in weightlifting. Get like, I don't know, I'd probably say like two pairs of 45s, 2 pairs of 25, you got like 2 pairs of everything from 45 to 25 to 10, 5, and 2. And then you can also grab a package of bands, get a set of bands. That's a good way to add weight for pretty cheap. And it gives you some like variable resistance and stuff. And then from there, I would say get sandbags for sure. Get at least one moderately heavy sandbag. Like if you're just starting, probably 100 pounds, you're gonna age out of that one really fast if you like stick to it. And then, you know, just add a bag every now and then. They don't take up that much space. You can stack them. Like I have 6 bags that take up, was that like 2 by 5 feet maybe. You get some farmer carry handles, or a way to do farmer carries. It can be dumbbells, kettlebells, something like that. Get a nice bench, get some good clips. But yeah, I mean, having a home gym is super fun. It's economical in that you are investing more in the short term than you would in like a gym subscription, like a monthly membership. But if you're not buying like Rogue and Eleiko, whatever, like equipment, you're going to spend less over like 2 years what you would at a commercial gym. Like the gym that I work at is $200 a month. And if I were to be a paying customer there, you know, that's $2,400 a year, $4,800 over 2 years. We've probably spent less than $4,800 in this gym. And I've used it to get big, get strong, have a lot of fun. You know, like we can have like 3 people in here working out, each of them doing different things. And that's because we were smart with the space. We dedicated a lot of it to free weights, things that have multiple functions, like the cable machine, sandbags, barbells, dumbbells, and then big things that are like, you know, more specific, like the yoke. You know, we planned for it and we use it. And honestly, the yoke isn't too bad because you can fit stuff like in between it and all that. But it, you know, if you want like a leg press and a pec deck and a calf raise machine and a machine chest press and a preacher curl and a hamstring curl and all that, you're gonna run out of space super fast. Now again, if you have a 3 or 4 car garage, go for it. Like, do whatever you want. If you have a warehouse, go for it. But you know, if you're like me, you can't really do that. So free weights, efficient modalities, stuff like that. Get some bands, like I said, good way to add some more weight, and just be creative with it. Having a home gym is super fun. I wish I would have done it years ago, like when my friend was telling me that I should just invest in the home gym rather than spending money at a commercial gym. Yeah, in hindsight, you're right. It's a different vibe. So if you're used to the community aspect of a commercial gym, I totally get the hesitancy to start up a home gym. That was the problem with me, is like, I realized that I was extrinsically motivated by the people around me instead of being intrinsically motivated to just do what I could as well as I could, which I am now. But when, you know, I was going to the commercial gym, it was really about seeing the people there and not as much about working out. But in a home gym, like it's you, whatever music you're playing, put on the YouTube videos. Like I'm playing World's Strongest Man, like reruns right now. They just, you know, they hype you up, keep you locked in, keep you going forward. Yeah, I gotta say, like, there's nothing like it. I don't want the fitness industry to die. Like, I think gyms are very important, but I think a lot of people would be better off making a home gym that's centered around them rather than going to a commercial gym and spending $90 to $150 to $200 a month on a membership. But yeah, that's just me. Everyone's different. Like I said, I used to be the commercial gym guy. Now I'm the home gym guy. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry, it was a little, kind of went on some rants, I'm sure. Long-winded, I'm an awkward guy. And I didn't plan any lines or scripts or anything, so I just kind of went off the dome, as I always do, which is a terrible idea because my dome is not very big. But hope you enjoyed it.